Hey guys, my name is Danny and I'm your life and relationship coach. And I wanted to talk about signs that your relationship is over. This is something that I get asked frequently in my one-on-one coaching sessions. Is my relationship over? Are there certain things that are happening that would indicate that it's coming to an end? Oftentimes, I think people know in their gut if the relationship is over or not, but I also understand that there is a lot of emotion and history and memory tied to relationships. So it can be very difficult to try to logically make that decision, right? Try to take a step back and identify whether the relationship is over or not. So I wanted to create a video that kind of gives you guys some indications or some signs that your relationship is potentially over. The first one is you are no longer afraid of losing your partner. And this is a big one. So oftentimes what I find is people who may not necessarily be ready to move on from the relationship, they fear that they're going to lose their partner. They fear that they're going to lose that sense of comfort, that routine, having that individual around them all the time, right? Because you've formed a bond, and it can be very difficult to break that bond. But when I speak to an individual and they tell me that they no longer have fears of losing their partner and they know that they're going to be okay and they will be fine and they will move on, that is a very clear indication to me that the relationship is probably over, because there is no longer that fear of hurting your partner. There's no longer that fear of the unknown. Oftentimes what I find is that people that are in this mindset are actually excited for the next venture and for the next thing. And at that point, what I recommend is for them to end the relationship, because it's not fair to drag their partner in the mud or to kind of keep them in this relationship in like a limbo state when the reality is they have already moved on in their mind. So if you can relate to this and you feel like you have already moved on in your mind and you are not afraid of losing your partner, that is something to really take into consideration. The second thing is you can't control your temper anymore, right? Or your partner can't control their temper anymore. And the reason for this is because there is no longer a sense of empathy. You lack empathy because you've already emotionally disconnected and you've already kind of moved on to the next phase of your life, but you're just kind of physically present. So you don't have the emotional capacity or capability to deal with your partners or those triggers that before you may have had patience for, or your partner may have had patience for. So if you find yourself in a cycle where you're just constantly losing your temper and you're very short, or they're very short with you and they're constantly blowing up and they're angry and they're frustrated, this is a very clear sign that the relationship is probably over. And if there's no attempt to fix these things, right? So if your partner does not want to put forth the energy to try to work through some of the issues and resolve the conflict, then there really isn't much that can be done in this situation. And it's one of those things that it might be better to kind of just cut ties and move on. The third one is that the negative memories outweigh the good, right? So in a relationship, we are forming memories and we are having shared experiences with each other. And that's really what creates that intimate bond, because we can sit back and reminisce on the good times and the memories we shared. And it's a reminder of the reason for why we are together, and it connects us. But if the only thing that you can recall is the negatives, so you recall every argument, you recall how often your partner used to trigger you, if you recall not having the most fun with them when you were on a trip, and that is the only thing that really is going through your mind or going through your partner's mind, then unfortunately, there really isn't anything solid in regards to the foundation of the relationship to build upon. You want to be able to build on the relationship with positive memories and things that you can reminisce on and stories that you can tell, your kids or your kids' kids, your grandchildren, whatever the case may be. But if everything is negative and you don't have any positive memories, that's not a good thing. The fourth one is you would rather be right than understand. Right? And I say this all the time in my communication trainings, do you want to be right or do you want to understand your partner? And if the answer is, I want to be right, I don't care about understanding my partner, then you've already made your choice in your mind. And this is why I said, I think a lot of people instinctually and in their gut know if the relationship is over or not. They just have trouble taking that initial step, right? That plunge to move on and end the relationship. So if you are in a place where you at this point harbor so much anger and resentment and frustration that you would rather just be right than actually spend the time understanding your partner, that also means that you lack empathy for your partner, which is one of the fundamental aspects of a relationship. The fifth one is you prioritize yourself over your partner, or your partner prioritizes themselves over you. So, when I give these examples and I say you, it's also a vice versa situation. So I'm applying this to your partner as well if the situation or the circumstance is reversed. I just wanted to clarify that. So if you are prioritizing yourself over your partner, that means that you are approaching this now from a very individualistic standpoint. Now, independence and individualism is very important and it's crucial in a relationship, right? Because it preserves a sense of identity, and that is necessary in maintaining and sustaining a healthy relationship. But when that mentality goes beyond caring for the relationship at all. So if you are prioritizing yourself over your partner, so let's say, for example, your partner has an emergency and needs you to come to the house to pick them up, to take them to the urgent care, but you're too busy with your friends and you couldn't be bothered. That's not a good thing, right? That's lacking empathy. That's lacking compassion for your partner. That's you not having any patience for them. And that's you prioritizing yourself over something that very well could be an emergency. Now, I know that's a very exaggerated, dramatic example, but I just kind of wanted to paint a picture for you guys so you understand what level of individualism I am talking about. And the sixth and final one is that you're just stuck in a cycle of blame. You cannot get out of that cycle. So if you are not willing to bend and compromise and empathize with your partner because you are so hurt and you are so frustrated and you carry so many resentments that at this point it's no, you're at fault for this. No, you're at fault for this. No, I'm not taking any blame for this. I don't take accountability for anything that's happened in the relationship. You're the one that's to blame here. If that is the cycle that you guys are in, that takes a lot of work to get out of, right? So it takes the ability to have effective communication. It takes the ability to have patience. It takes the ability to have empathy for your partner. And if you do not have the energy to do that anymore, if your partner does not have the energy to do that anymore, and you are just constantly stuck in this negative feedback loop, in this negative cycle of blaming each other, it is likely that the relationship is over at that point because there is no positivity, there is no resolution of conflict. So just to reiterate some of the primary things that we talked about. So number one, you are no longer afraid of losing your partner. Number two, you can't control your temper anymore. Number three, the bad memories outweigh the good. The fourth one is you would rather be right than wrong. The fifth one is you prioritize yourself over your partner. And the sixth one is you are stuck in a cycle of blame. If you guys related to this video, if you guys like this video, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below. I love having open dialogue with people. So if this is something that you can relate to, if there's something that you feel like I missed, maybe you know somebody who's going through this situation, please make sure you leave your comments down below. I love having conversations with people. I like reading the comments. Maybe you just want to dive in a little bit deeper and you want to know a little bit more about this topic. You can visit us at happilycommitted.com, where we have a multitude of different articles and blogs and videos related to this topic and many other topics as well. Maybe you want to book a one-on-one coaching session with myself or with any of the other amazing coaches on the team just to verify, to confirm that you have reached the end of the relationship and you just want to make sure that you are making the right decision and that you are approaching the breakup in the right way. We would be happy to support you through that process and help you in that. Again, my name is Danny. I'm your life and relationship coach. I hope you guys are staying happy and healthy. See you guys soon.